Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. It's another club roundup show. We're going to be looking back at all the weekend's club action from the weekend's Gaelic football, and certainly a lot to discuss, a lot to break down, a lot of talking points. We had some big results in there, some big shocks, thrills and spills, all the rest. Newcastle West producing a huge result against Clonmel Commercials, and Glen and Kilcoo putting themselves into an Ulster final. And you had Cairns O'Rahilly's living up to the hype in Kerry, getting through into a Munster final as well. Just a reminder, we're brought to you by Declan Kirby GAA Star, the best children's GAA book out there in the market at the minute. You can find it on Amazon, Easons, all good bookshops, so make sure to check it out when you get a chance. John McMahon, how is life for yourself? And how did you enjoy the club action at the weekend? I mean, I don't know if it competed well enough with the World Cup now, if I'm being honest, but at the same time, we got a fair few decent games in there. Well, kind of.
Yeah, all good, my man, and it's an absolute pleasure to be back on your show once again. It's so what else would you on Sunday night other than talking to the main man himself? It's good to be back on. I suppose maybe it was probably a timid enough kind of weekend. Obviously, it was a great result for Newcastle West today against Clonmel, and I suppose the game that was, in Carrigan probably more worth attrition. I suppose you nearly didn't know who was going to win, and you really, hats off to Carrigan because they really put in a shift against them, and it was great to see the McCann still going strong, and even Kevin O'Boyle really parading forward. We'll touch on the game now in a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, but it was a very, very good performance by Cork. And then as for yesterday, I suppose Kilcoo on it, went about their business really well. It was a great performance by them now. So the dispatched of Enniskillen Gaels probably with great ease, and it kind of makes you think Garner must just be thinking to themselves, where are we at after, I suppose, Kilcoo's great win against Enniskillen Gaels last night. But yeah, probably a timid enough kind of weekend of action. And I suppose I said in my podcast during the week, there's less games. You're hoping for more quality, I suppose, but just didn't get it this weekend. But sure, hopefully next weekend. Hope springs eternal, my man.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose when we do go into the provincial finals as well, we should definitely see these games liven up quite a bit. And it is kind of crazy. We're down to the last 8 now, basically, in the All-Ireland Club Football Championship. We know our provincial finalists. It's flown by so quickly, really, when you think about it. And we're in November. It is quite rare to have provincial finals coming up. Usually it'd obviously be sort of around January, February, sort of March time, we'd start to see these games. So kind of crazy. We're down to the last 8.
Yeah, down to the last 8, and I suppose time flies when you're having fun, and I suppose with a lot of these games, you just kind of have to enjoy them when they come around. And I know we probably had a few games in the Ulster Club Championship, and maybe the Leinster Championship. Maybe I suppose it's all kind of nearly predictable. Obviously, with Cleveland could win it, and obviously maybe the Downs. Hopefully, you might have something else to say about that. A good upset today. Between Newcastle West, obviously getting a very, very good victory against Clonmel. So, I suppose you're just kind of hoping that there is a few more upsets or a victory like that today for Newcastle West will definitely liven it up. But again, these things just happen, around so quickly. Everything happens. But look, a lot of the teams, and I keep banging the drum about them, but I just think they're such a quality outfit. I just haven't got to see the highlights of their game last night against Enniskillen Gaels, but I think they're hitting form at the right time. Maybe they just didn't have a great down championship, but I think obviously Conor Gilligan will have big plans now for the Ulster final, and to try to get his hands retain the Anti-American Cup. Obviously, Kilcoo have different ideas with that, but I think the teams we predicted maybe at the start of the year really are coming to the pomp now, and I think the Glen, we will touch on the game now in a couple of minutes, but I think the Glen will really, really need to improve now for the Ulster final, because I don't think if they don't improve, Kilcoo will be awake to the danger. They'll be awake to any threat that they pose, and if they even think about putting in a performance like they did maybe today against in the Ulster final, they could be in a big spot about it. But 2 weeks to do their homework, they'll get their house in order, no doubt, and I think we'll be in for an unbelievable Ulster final.
100%, 100%. By the way, if people hear a washing machine there in the background, don't worry, it will calm down there at some point. Bit of background noise there. Definitely didn't think that one through, unfortunately. But anyway, we'll crack on.
No, good stuff. No, because my young fella herself feeding the young man there downstairs, so hopefully he doesn't kick off now or try creep into the room. So we're probably in similar enough situations where I'll probably have to lock the door now in a few minutes. But no, I don't hear anything, buddy. My end. So washing the suits for the working week, are you?
Sure, look, you have to multitask. Who said men can't multitask? Do you know what I mean? Like that's the way I look at it. You have to mix the good with the bad and all the rest. But look, you were mentioning Kilcoo there, and I suppose we'll start with the two games from the Ulster Club Senior Football Championship, and it was Enniskillen and Gaels 1-9, Kilcoo 3-14. Big result, as you said, for Kilcoo. Very dominant in the first half, from what I heard. They were playing with the breeze in the first half. Game was really sort of done and dusted really by half time. But again, for Kilcoo, look, in Down, they were being criticised quite a bit for the fact that they were being held to extra time. They were going to extra time, and maybe they weren't putting teams away with the type of ruthlessness you'd maybe see from an All-Ireland champion. But like, I'm going to be honest, in the Ulster Club Senior Football Championship, there hasn't been really a test at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, they put Ballybay to the sword, and now they've obviously put Enniskillen and Gaels to the sword as well. And like, from looking at their performances and Watty Graham's Glen's performances, like, Kilcoo for me have still got to be the Ulster favourites at this moment in time after such a dominant performance once again.
Like, again, we probably, I don't know about you, but I still haven't seen highlights from the game last night. But they're just they're quality tickers. A couple of weeks ago, maybe had them in fourth or fifth win in All Ireland, which I just think maybe was a bit stagnant. Even these some figures, two bookmakers, I know it's right, but they are a quality team. There's so many quality footballers. I know Mickey Moran did leave, but at the end of the day, Conor Gilligan is an absolute brilliant coach. He lives and breathes football. Probably a future dairy manager, I'd imagine. Kilcoo, I think for anybody, if anybody, of course, did maybe write Kilcoo up, because it's write them off your peril. At a game like yesterday, like I'm pretty looking forward to watching back, because just maybe to see the prowess, it's very hard to go against them, because I think even the last out against Ballybay, Paul Devlin was kind of in the half forward line, and he was kind of dictating things, roaming about, getting ball into the full forward line. He played a really good role there. So, that's maybe a different kind of role Conor Gilligan's kind of applied for him. And then obviously the Brannigans can do the damage. And look at Conor Lafferty, of course, as well. So, write them off. I really would put them down as probably all contenders once again for the year, because I really don't think Kilmacud could have been tested yet. The Downs might prove strong in the left middle, but it'd just be a team like Kilcoo that would have their homework done on Kilmacud, that put up or even beat them once again. But we're in for a very interesting next couple of weeks in the club.
Absolutely. And I think after the game between Watty Graham's Glen and Kilcoo last year, and how competitive it was, how much of a brilliant spectacle it was in many ways, I think it'd be great to obviously get to see them two play each other once again in an Ulster final. But like, I was thinking as well with Kilcoo, in terms of they did struggle quite a bit getting through the Down Championship, like going to extra time a lot of the time. But like, I think as well that probably just shows maybe how competitive the Down Football Championship is. And I think maybe, like, we're people were probably so quick to be like, well, why are Kilcoo struggling and all the rest? Maybe there just happens to be a lot of very, very good club teams in Down, like, and maybe that's probably one of the reasons why they struggled a bit earlier in the year.
Yeah, like you see, maybe some of our fellow lads in the podcast group chat were saying, oh yeah, maybe they were going to struggle in Down, and like I think a lot of the club teams in Down probably would try to have Kilcoo's number, and I think to know the inside out, and that's maybe why they did struggle. Now, and got into the Ulster, they've been absolute quality in all the games they've had. And in fairness, like, that's a very good team that dispatched off. Yeah, so again, hitting form at the time, and it's probably it could easily become a thing, whereas Kim McCud's going to walk the way through to the All Ireland, and Kim want to walk the way through to the All Ireland, and have no challenger. So it's really hitting all the high.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we might have lost you there briefly, or maybe we have you back now, do we?
Yeah.
That's the Tesco cabin Wi-Fi, as I was saying before there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got you there now, I think. I feel, you know, this is kind of a bit like Jeff Stelling on Sky Sports. Is it Chris Kamara? You're there? He's like, I don't know, Jeff. I don't.
in and out.
But sure, look, well, yeah. But Kilcoo anyway. They're a good team. They're good at Gaelic football, I suppose.
Oh, will Kilcoo good. Okay, yeah. After all of that, Kilcoo can play football and they're very good. But no, yeah, I think joking aside though, they're a quality team. It's good to see like a really, really good stiff probably. And obviously Glen say about that as well. But I think, yeah, Kilcoo do not write them off.
100%. And I suppose from an Enniskillen Gaels point of view, like obviously, like probably not
big man, does it?
Which?
It's far too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I still have you there. Still have you. But from an Enniskillen Gaels point of view, like I suppose their performance maybe, like obviously disappointment from their point of view, but as we said, I suppose during the week, like probably bonus territory really for them.
Yeah, probably was bonus territory for them. Like I know I was probably wearing my cap hat previewing, the Gown and the Skilling game that time, but I honestly did think to beat and the Skilling Gaels, and that just didn't didn't transpire. But it just goes to strengthen the quality of this Kilcoo team that can just abruptly like that, and just and Skilling probably just didn't look like they're in the game at all. I know the first half was very, very Vince killing back in still Kilcoo like William it's the Ulster club. It's very up and down, but I think Glen will kind of be looking back. If Kilcoo dispatched them so handily and easily like that yesterday, where does that maybe leave Gown? As I said, maybe at the start, but
Yeah, no, 100%. And I suppose moving on to the other game then in the Ulster Senior Football Championship that obviously took place earlier today. It was Watergraham's Glen 110, Cargan of Antrim 8 points. I got to be honest, as someone who was massively hungover after going out last night, this was probably not the most entertaining viewing, and I probably did nod off once or twice. But look, it was a fairly competitive game. It was fairly close. It was a close-knit game. Like, and it was a lot closer than I expected. Like, it really wasn't until Danny Talon's late goal. And, like, fair play to Cargan. Like, they kept themselves within the game. There was only 1 or 2 points in it going down the home stretch. And they had a clear game plan and nearly pulled it off. But at the same time, you'd look at Watergraham's Glen's performance and, like, we can definitely see them play a lot better. I think we can all agree on that anyways.
Oh yeah, definitely. And in fairness, like I said, this the start, but it's a real credit to Cargan for sticking with their game plan, sticking to their guns. Like maybe they did a really good system. And at the likes of Kevin O'Boyle, he was absolutely brilliant. He'd a great back, and maybe as I said just earlier on, department they were lacking a bit. But I know Mick McCann was trying his best. Tomas McCann, I suppose, they have a lot of miles in the clock. I suppose to be dependent on them lads, but it's a real credit to Cargan for like having it so close, having it so tight, because you thought obviously Glen would have won that game convincingly, and like it didn't turn out like that. I know Danny Tag, but Cargan really stuck to their task and had a great Glen to improve, because look, it's an Ulster final against a quality Kilcoo team that's really hitting forward to work, and anything they need to work on. Malachy O'Rourke will be reviewing and reviewing everything that went on, but they will need to just even. I know, like, we're coming towards Christmas at this stage, the end of November, but maybe we're Glen just a bit leggy. I know Conor Glass is kind of going about, but it's a long season for the likes of Conor Glass and some of them boys. You've seen them going about the pitch today. Maybe they were just maybe a bit fatigued, a bit tired, because it is such a long year, really, realistically, from January to, well, basically last November to non-stop. So, that could be Glen can't put in performance like they did today and expect.
Yeah, like, I think they just seemed very leggy. Like, it seemed like they were going through the motions maybe a lot of the time, like what you said before. Like, there was no, like, they seemed very content with a sort of 1 to 2 point lead at different points in the game. Like, they probably weren't kicking on a bit, or sort of taking the game to Carrigan, as you'd expect from a Whitey Graham's Glen, with the players that they have in the likes of Conor Glass, Danny Talon, Emma Bradley. But it did seem like they were very content just to sort of manage the game and sort of see the game out. And, like, fair enough, if you win the game, it doesn't really matter. But how many times down the years do you have a 1 or 2 point lead, and then all of a sudden, the opposition floats a long ball into the square and it just gets bundled over the line? Plenty of times we've seen it happen in the past. So, like, I'd imagine that'll probably be something that Malachy O'Rourke and the Whitey Graham's Glen management team will have to work on, because, like, against a side like Kilcoo, you're going to need to be on it, and you're going to need to have that energy, desire, all the rest, because it did seem to be a little bit lacking, in my opinion, in this game anyways.
Yeah, like, saying, like, is it just the, like, I don't know, maybe what kind of maybe training is Malachy O'Rourke? Is he still running them, or what does that consist of, or what their training regime, or what they're at, maybe, because that probably does reflect on match day what you do during the week. But maybe it was just a bit of a surprising performance by, because obviously, as you were saying, maybe at the game, like, it definitely didn't set the world alight. If you're hungover at all today, it probably would have been good to get a few 40 winks, because it just didn't make for a great spectacle at all. And maybe that's the way Carrigan went about their business, because like, they really got, like, I think they're really well coached going into it. They just looked like they had such a good plan for it. I honestly thought at stages they're going to nick the game as well. Like, it was at one point near the end, and then obviously Jesus, I don't know what the character absolutely took the Glen man out of it. So, God, I don't know what he was trying to achieve. Jesus, he heard of maybe McCann's maybe discipline near the end of the game as well. But wee bits like that, maybe Glen can probably count themselves lucky for getting over the line in the end for bits and pieces of it. But yeah, not a game for the ages, man.
No, 100% not. Like, and just looking at the scores in total, like, you obviously had Danny Talon in there with 1-4, Conor Glass with 2 points, Aaron Doherty in there with a point, Michael Warnock in there with a score as well. And Conor Glass, like, 2 sensational points in the first half. Like, really, really, really top performance once again from him.
Yeah, like I said, that he's a top class performer, and I really do think we can counter lucky stars that he did come to Australia, because he is just absolutely talented. He's an unbelievable fetch of a ball. He can kick scores, 2 unreal scores in the first half, and not easy kicks in the first half either. Like, he was going up the right side flank and against a tricky corner and men around him, and he slotted over the bar no problem. So he uses quality. He probably is the best midfielder in Ireland at the minute. Maybe the likes of Brian Fenton and some of the boys could with that, but I think Conor Glass is probably head and shoulders there at the minute. He's playing unbelievable football, and obviously Talon was very good from the frees, took the penalty well. Mr. Bradley, with the left footer frees as well, he was very good too, so kept his discipline throughout. So maybe when the Carrigan boys were trying to get into his head, but look, I think a measured, balanced performance by Glen. Probably maybe didn't get out of third or fourth gear, which is quite surprised with. But they know themselves they will need to improve for the Ulster final, because if they don't, as I keep saying, Kilcoo will be laughing.
Yeah, Conor Glass, like, he is sensational. Like, I'd probably still have Brian Fenton at his peak above a Conor Glass. Like, I suppose you would maybe say
Of
that
course
Brian
you
Fenton
would. Of course you
performance
would.
is last 1 or 2 years. But, you know, like, come on, like, you have to give us some credit, you know.
You've got too much credit. It's time for the other guys to come back.
The problem,
the rest of us a chance, big man. Yeah, too much credit. Too much credit in the bank. That's the problem. But I think Glass is probably the best midfielder in air at the minute. Just let me know.
100%. So who are you backing then for the Ulster final then?
The Dublin Bus. If anyone's watching, just let us.
I think you dropped off a bit there. I didn't quite catch you there, but all I heard was Dublin Bus for some reason. Maybe Dublin Bus Wi-Fi, maybe, or something.
I was just saying, this stream is like the Dublin Bus. It's unbelievably delayed. People are relying on us for good content.
I know, and unfortunately, because of my hangover state as well,
it's a pity.
I'm struggling to throw the words, but yeah. Oh, sure. Look, well, we better just.
I'm hearing you now again. You're saying stuff, and then you. Yeah, but you're agreeing with stuff I said a few minutes ago. Oh yeah, this can't be helping your hangover. It can't be helping your.
No, definitely not. But anyway, we'll move on to the Munster. We'll move on to the Munster Senior Football Championship. So two games to discuss here, thankfully. Newcastle West. Look, what a result for them. Newcastle West 116. Clonmel Commercials 111. Definitely a result that I don't think anybody seen coming at all. They obviously go to extra time, get the job done there. Like a famous result. It's been a long time since the
during the week, big man. You predict?
Yeah. You know, so like a famous win
if
for Newcastle West. What were your thoughts on this?
Just let me know. Maybe during the week I said Newcastle West were going to get the win. Ian Corbett absolutely convinced me, and he convinced me to the max. Great win for Newcastle West, the likes of Billy Lee and Ian Corbett up there in Limerick. It's great to see, as I keep saying, to see Limerick football and constantly building blocks, I suppose. And obviously, I've chats up with Ian Corbett up there at the minute. If anyone wants to check them out on YouTube, and Billy Lee will be dropping this week as well. So two very good chats, but great win for Newcastle West coming to after a great win against Nemo Rangers. But look, yeah, Limerick football, it'll do that. It'll do them the absolute world of good. There's some really good people involved there, and feel them.
Yeah, no, like a sensational result in more ways than one. Like, you obviously had Owen Hurley there with 6 points. He was one of the standout players from what I've seen. And yeah, like results like this really just show the beauty of club championships, though, because like Nemo Rangers were favourites against Clonmel Commercials the last time out. Clonmel go, turn them over, put in a brilliant display, and sort of put themselves, you know, as in a lot of people's eyes, the favourites for the Munster Championship. But now Newcastle West have sort of just come out of nowhere, turned them over. Huge result going into a Munster final. Like, it really does show in these club championships that, like, on any given day, really anything can happen. Like, and I think a result like this is sort of evidence to that.
Yes, that I keep saying, but that is the beauty of the club championship, because you could go out any day, anyone could beat anybody, and you know, we all talk, you know, Glen would absolutely hammer Carrigan today. The look that really well coached during the week for that game, and I think they just really done their homework and Glen. And just go to anyone, if you work hard enough, if you have the right system, and the likes of the former Anthony and Mick McCann, the boys, really credit to them. But talking to Ian Corbett during the week, he was quietly confident about that game today. And look, fair play to them. It's a great result, and on the Munster final.
Yeah, and Ian Corbett did get on the score sheet as well with a point in there. Brian O'Sullivan with a point in there as well. Cian Sheehan with 3 points. Emmett Richter with 1-1 as well. So really, really outstanding result from them. I suppose from a Clonmel commercials point of view, like obviously we're talking here without having seen the game, but like what do you think kind of happened here? I mean, obviously after such a huge result against Nemo Rangers and the likes of Sean O'Connor and Mickey Quinlan and all the lads sort of putting in a dominant display, but like what's after happening here?
Yeah, I didn't get any of that question. You say?
I was saying, like in terms of Clonmel commercials, and obviously they were coming in as favourites to win this game. So, like, what do you think maybe went wrong in their thinking? Did they underestimate Newcastle West? Do you think, or what do you reckon?
Yeah. You see, that's I got that. Yeah, no, I think you see that's what I mean with a lot of these club games. I think a lot of the likes of Kilcoo and Glens of these worlds, they think that okay, God, like what's this kind of team going to bring up against? But in fairness, I really don't think it. But looks of things, Clonmel, expected what Newcastle West were going to be bringing to the table today, and kind of look what happened. So you really need to expect the expected. In fairness, it's great to see results like that today because it really opens up the championship. It makes a story in Limerick football. It makes Newcastle West as a club. They'll keep climbing trees from all this. It's brilliant to see, and it just goes to show you can't take your foot off the pedal. Train hard, work hard towards getting a result, and give every team the respect that there's. Look, it's a club championship. It's that time of year between football. Anybody can beat anybody, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, and obviously you were speaking to Ian Corbett during the week as well, and I was listening to that podcast. So people make sure to check out the JMac podcast there to go and find that interview. But he was even speaking about sort of the beliefs that they have within the group and everything else. And like going in against Cairns or Rathleys, look, Newcastle West will be major underdogs, make no mistake about that. But I mean, after getting a result like that against Clonmel Commercials, there'll be no fear at all going in against the Kerry champions.
They won't, and I suppose that's a prime example of they shouldn't fear anyone that could get a good result against that. I know obviously the Kerry champions will have a lot there with that game, but it likes the Kieran O'Reilly's. I think West should have absolutely massive confidence that it's so good here for playing football in amongst lads you've always played with for your whole life. So look, get a few more. Keep developing the club, keep developing players, keep developing players in the world for the next day out. And who knows, they could have a lovely.
In terms of Cairns or Rathleys, then 1 point victory against Aero Guinness, 1-9 to 1-8. David Moran getting sent off after 22 minutes, but they still found a way in the end to plug on through to get the result. Seen Jack Savage in there with a couple of points, Tommy Walsh with 1-2. So look, for them, they silenced the critics a little bit. They get the victory against the Clare champions. They're going to go in now as favourites against Newcastle West. Make no mistake about that. What are your thoughts on Cairns or Rathleys?
Yeah, Kier, great, and it was great to even see the likes of Tommy Walsh rolling back the years and having a big game today. We know about the quality of him, Barry John Keane, for obviously Kerry greats, and great to have them lads paneling, playing high standards in such a high level. See, obviously you're going to the reward from that. So a great win for them today. Monday against Glen's favourites, but this Newcastle West team. Oh,
think we lost you there again. You had a nice little sort of frozen image. You looked very well on the screen there.
Yeah. Oh, sugar. That does not look good. Yeah. Oh, big man. We'll think of a plan B for the next time we do this. We have to come up with something different. It's gone down like the Titanic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going down a little bit like Germany are at the moment against the Spanish. But yeah, Dylan says here, Taurine Hurlers had a great win.
Yeah.
It's 1-0 to La Española, to the Spanish. Alvaro Morata there getting the lovely victory, or the lovely goal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're breaking up big time, big man.
I'm the one breaking up this time now, is it?
Yeah, we're both jingle jangled.
Yeah, Dylan was saying
I don't know. I have a look at the comments. Is anybody getting the kick?
Three in a row, Connacht final. What's your thoughts on that? Mayo Hurling's on the rise there.
It's good to see, and I know you're a big Mayo fan advocate, but it's good to see, and more of it. Fair play to the lads, and up the Taurine Hurlers. Fair play to them.
There you go. Well, sure. Look, we may as well wrap this up anyway, because we've certainly had more than one connection problem here. But what was your club moment of the week?
Well, it didn't be in the week anyway. I tell you what, big man. Holy moly! I don't know what's going on here. A club moment of the week, probably a relative. Newcastle West getting the win today. I called it during the week, and I knew they were going to win after that. So Newcastle West getting the win today. Fair play, Ian Corbett and all the boys up in Limerick there. Great.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree as well. I think for them to turn over Clonmel, who were the favourites for the Munster Championship, given the fact that they've beaten Nemo Rangers, favourites in most eyes, I'd have to very much agree with that as well. And it would certainly be a real David and Goliath clash if they managed to come through. Cairns O'Reilly's
any nice dance moves
come through Leinster.
It was a good tune that was in your video as well. Your missus was giving it loads.
Yeah, you know, you got to go out and celebrate the highs, you know. Go out and have a good time, you know, getting ready, celebrating that it's been a very good year for Dublin in 2022. We qualified for Division 2, so onwards and upwards. Brilliant. Well, look, Sean,
wrap this up before.
Cheers very much.
Next time, hopefully it'll be versus